Welcome back. This is kind of a cool project. It's the first one that we have done. This is called an Ineos Grenadier. It's a vehicle that is made in France. I thought it was a Range Rover, but it's not. Supposedly, some of the Range Rover parts were consolidated, and the smart car factory in France was bought. A bunch of G-Wagon Mercedes engineers were hired. A BMW drivetrain was put together, and this is the result. If you're interested in the vehicles themselves, they're not that expensive, sub 100 to maybe low 100s, totally decked out. And they're really, really cool. Like, it's a legitimate car, but we're not here to sell the car. We're here to sell what we did, and that is the audio system. The audio system from the factory leaves a little bit to be desired, but that's good for us. This one we had to explore of what was available. You have two options from Ineos, which is a non-subwoofer system where you just have some speakers in the front and an infotainment system. The upgraded version offers you a subwoofer underneath the back seat, which is also leaves a little bit to be desired. What we did is basically added Dynaudio speakers in the doors. We also did sound deadening, and that makes a big difference, for any type of a setup. We integrated everything into the factory unit, which was nice because it actually had full range, high level out. And as you can see, it's got CarPlay, that's from the factory. We also added a streamer that allows you to bypass all that for a pure high fidelity and go right to the amplifiers. The amplifiers are back here. Unfortunately, you can't see them, but like our other videos, maybe you can insert a pictures. They're buried behind here. So there's absolutely no space lost. Even this little storage compartment is still available. The amplifiers are actually behind this panel, and they're two Mosconi digital amps. A Pico 8 to 10 with the DSP built in, and a Pico 1 which powers the subwoofer. So before we get to the subwoofer, I'll show you the tweeters. Hey, sorry to interrupt. I was watching a video and realized I totally forgot to credit the amazing team that's actually behind this. So always starts with Jim, who's responsible for putting the customer correspondence, putting the system together, figuring out what equipment to use, what fits, budget, you name it. Fernando, who basically does all of the majority of the install, and all of the wiring, the OEM integration, sound deadening, speaker placement, speaker mounting, the amp rack, and head to toe everything. Mike Tiefert did an amazing job designing and executing the subwoofer enclosure that's in the footwell and putting the padding over it. That was really, really cool. And obviously can't forget Coley, who did a whole new car prep on it, got it ready for PPF, and then also the FenLab ceramic coating. And I did some of the tuning, tied up some loose ends, but just want to make sure it's never a one-man show. It's a full team effort to execute something like this. So thank you. Thanks for watching the video. Back to it. And there's a couple of all I've seen online of people done is put a tweeter up here, but there's a pretty significant structural bracket that's behind it that would need to be modified. We didn't want to do that, so we actually took the Dynaudio tweeter and eliminated the cup and then mounted them from behind, and they fit perfectly here. And the angle is actually better than firing towards the windshield. They fire up, and believe it or not, for truck, this actually images and stages quite well. So it's a very simple setup, two-way front Dynaudio setup. Same thing in the back with no tweeters. And then we basically, this is the magic of it. It's a little bit too much work to take out, but the subwoofer enclosure is actually underneath here. So I'm a tall guy, but this is totally comfortable to sit in. And the part that is not factory, so there's a dead pedal here, and we just extended that over. From the factory, this tilts down a little bit and then goes up. So this is arguably actually a more comfortable seating position because you can rest your feet on it. There's a 10-inch Illusion subwoofer in here. This plastic piece was basically just integrated to match the top plastic piece. And this is actually part of a trunk mat. So we bought a second trunk mat, which wasn't cheap, and we actually cut this template out of it just to mimic and match and have the weather resistance of this guy's going to be driving this thing in the winter with ski boots. You can slop on it, kick it, and really abuse it. It's not going to take any kind of damage to it. But there is a 10-inch sub underneath there, and it vents out over the top. And yeah, it's really incredible performance. So we actually had the guys from the dealership listen to it, and they were pretty impressed. We also have a bass knob here that controls it, just strictly the subwoofer. I know on the video it never sounds as good as it does in real life, but it sounds pretty good. It's really a rich, nice, fulfilling sound. Night and day difference from what we started with. So really happy with that. Hoping to do more of them. You can do the same option without the subwoofer just by upgrading the door speakers. And I do recommend putting the tweeters up here and a component set up and send some sound deadening and an amp. It'll make a big difference. Customer heard it. He was blown away. Like, he was totally stoked. And I hope we'll sell more of these. So thank you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And if you have anything that you would like us to do, Sound in Motion in Boston.